those were the headlines. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. To start the news with an obituary, we have just learned with sadness and dismay the death of the famous guitarist and singer Daoud Ali, who died this afternoon in Jigjiga, Somali region of Ethiopia. Upon learning of this painful disappearance, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, sent his sincere condolences to the relatives and the families of the late Daoud Ali, a great artist. The general management of all staff of RTD and all Djiboutian artists send their sincere condolences, the most saddened to the family and loved one of the deceased artist, and pray the most merciful to have mercy on his soul and to welcome him in his eternal paradise. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. On Wednesday, the President of the National Assembly, Mr. Mohamed Ali Hamed, received in his office a high-level delegation comprising the authorities of the Ethiopian Harar region, led by the President of the region, Ordin Bedri, in the framework of a working visit by the delegation in Djibouti for a period of 3 days. The President of Harar is accompanied by the President of the Harar Regional Assembly, Khalid Alwan, the Mayor of Harar, Bekeli Temesgen, the Director of Urban Development, Mr. Abdul Hakim Abdul Malik Yunis, and the Ethiopian Ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Abdul Aziz Mohammed. The aims of the talks between the two sides revolve around the existing bilateral relation between the two countries and ways and means to advance the historical partnership that brings together the region of Harar and Djibouti. After welcoming the Harari delegation, the head of the parliament, His Excellency Mohamed Ali Hamed, said he was very honored by the visit of the city of Harar, sometimes referred to as the fourth city of Islam, which has a special place in the heart of the Djiboutian. Since 2006, it has been listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site that he said and welcome the lens of exchange and encounters, which is also your second homeland, he said. The head of the chamber said, for his part, Ordin Bedwi, the prefect of Arta region, and the both thank the President for his availability, his support, and his wish to participate in this strengthening of the ties between the two cities. The head of Port and Free Zones Authorities, Abubakar Umar Hadi, received in his office the important Ethiopian delegation led by the head of Liberation Region, who is visiting Djibouti as a part of a working visit. This was presented by the Ethiopian courts and the head of Port and Free Zones Authorities in Arta region. The discussion between the two sides touch in the existing mutual relation between the two countries on several projects and the infrastructure, the new free zones and electric railways in the Republic of Djibouti. During the visit, the Ethiopian delegation carried out an explorative tour accompanied by the guides to the various infrastructure and facilities of the port of the country. After the inspection tour, the delegation held a high meeting with the presence of the President of the port, the Ethiopian delegation. During the meeting, thanked and the Djiboutian authorities for the warm welcome that they have received and accompanying the delegation since their arrival. Under the chairmanship of the representative Kaltun Farah Saeed, the Legislative and Public Administration Committee held in the committee halls at the headquarters of National Assembly a meeting to discuss a draft law relating to the establishment of a commission to organize the activities of the various sectors in Djibouti. The Secretary General for the government participated in this session after constructive and fruitful discussion to establish this new independent body that was created by the government. Committee members agreed to adopt this project in the next plenary session. It was yesterday, Thursday, the signing ceremony for a partnership agreement was organized between Djiboutian Social Development Agency and the Center for Leadership and Entrepreneurship at the entrepreneurs' headquarters. Members of the government, the head of headquarters who hosted the events, the director of National Committee Agency, the diplomatic corps crediting the country, the representative of international organization in Djibouti, and the youth entrepreneurs participate in this event. This occasion aims to launch and start a project to support entrepreneurship for young men and women and train them in relation to conceive the launch in the world of entrepreneurship instead of training about 300 young people at the national level. Beside financing of 500 small project in amounts estimated at 200 million franc of Djibouti to benefit from these 1,005 young men and women. In his speech by the director of the Center of Entrepreneurship and Innovation, Ms. Uba Ahmed, in this occasion, she provide details, clarification on the task and activities of this center. For his part, the director of National Agency for Community Development, Mr. Mahdi Mohamed Jama Ali, stressed the importance of this occasion, which falls within the framework of youth support. For her part, the Minister of Social Affairs, Ms. Muna Usman Naden, affirmed her firm intention to work alongside to the concerned authorities in order to activate this agreement, which without any doubt aims to empower young people working together to achieve a rapid development with the sector, especially with young active entrepreneurs, said the Minister. In turn, the Minister of Economic and Finance, Ilyas Musa Dawale, thanked all the partners who support the Djiboutian entrepreneurship initiatives. He stressed that Djibouti, according to the vision of His Excellency, the President of the Republic, seeks to be more developed and open towards the walls of development during the coming years, and that is through the application of a system and approach that enables us to achieve our aspiration, and that the government administration and the private sectors work jointly and support private sectors initiatives and provide an environment that enable the discovery of multiple talents in the country. This is one of the priority of the government. We have, he said, to work to overcome the problems in the country's young entrepreneurs, so we will not pay the debt to start activities or work, and they will not pay the governmental task within 3 years. This is to encourage young people to move forward in the implementation of their own project. His Excellency the Secretary of State for Youth and Sport, Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, and his accompanying delegation were received by His Royal Highness Prince Abdulaziz Al Faisal, Chairman of the Board of Director of General Authorities for Sport, in his office in the Prince Faisal bin Fayed Olympic Complex in the capital of Riyadh. During the meeting, a joint cooperation agreement was signed between the two countries in the sport sides, aiming at exchanging sport experiences between the two parties and developing them in all aspects for the benefit of the athletes and youth for both countries. The meeting was attended by His Excellency the Assistant Chairman of the Boards of Director Abdullah bin Sayed, the Commission agent, and the Ambassador of the Custodian of the two Holy Mosques to Djibouti, Abdulaziz bin Abdullah, and the Ambassador of Djibouti to the Kingdom, Mr. Dialdin Sayyid Bamakrama. still on national news, within the framework of the work visit by the Turkish delegation under the leadership of Director General of the International Society for Healthcare, Mr. Mohammed Ali, to the country, the delegation made an inspection tour of the various health structure and the hospital located in the country. This upon the arrival of the Turkish delegation was received by the Director General of the hospital. The delegation visited the various medical facilities and department of the hospital, as well as the department located in the hospital. During this, the Turkish delegation of during the visit, the Turkish delegation of the International Healthcare Association went to the emergency department operations rooms department of Pelletier General Hospital, which is contain high quality diagnostic equipment and machines and modern technology platforms. Modern medical equipment such as the MRI. After that, the Turkish delegation went to drug purchase and storage center to know the operating status and storage process of this facility, in charge of providing medicines and medical materials for health structure. At the end of this tour, the Turkish delegation headed this to the hospital in the municipality of Belbela, where he was received by the Director General of the hospital, Sheikhu, Mr. Musa Ibrahim. During this visit, the delegation received a brief overview from the Director Musa Ibrahim on the various services provided by the hospital. In an intervention on national television, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Salah Benoita, confirmed that the visit of the Turkish delegation to Djibouti comes within the framework of the sides of the partnership in the health sector. Now, let's note that this meeting consists an important opportunity to address about several topics present by the issues of deporting Djiboutian patients to Turkey for treatment and providing training courses for doctors and management hospital, and the importance of establishing of an office in the Ministry of Health that will work directly with this association. The Minister of Labor, in charge of administrative reform, in collaborative with the State Secretary for Youth and Sport, this morning launched qualification courses on strengthening the capacity of managers and facilitators of a community deployment center in the National Institute of Public Administration. The main objective of this course is to build capacity to design, implement, and manage the leadership of policy, that is the policy that aims to enhance social work. The course deal with the many issues, including the issues of youth employment and starting of a community project, as well as initiative of community development centers and managing expectation of this center. It is a report that this program will continue in the interior region after the completions of the city of Djibouti. The Director General of Civil Defense, Colonel Mahmoud Moussa, Director of the French Security and Defense Cooperative, General Thierry Marchand, received this at the Office of Civil Defense Center this morning. The two-side talks focus on the outstanding and the cooperation between the two institutions and ways and means to enhance the development of the cooperation. During this meeting, the General Thierry Marchand follow a visual presentation on the various function and the Civil Defense Foundation. the Director General of Civil Defense congratulate Colonel Mohamed Moussa and the French General on his appointment as Director of Security and Defense Corporation last August, wishing him every success in this important position. A team from the Secretary of the State in charge of decentralization visit Ali Sabih region between the 19th of the 23rd of January in order to carry out a mission related to civil condition and to look at the living condition of these citizens. These events aims to implement various activities, including evacuating the community about civil status and training civil status employees. Other activities took place over a period of 3 days, targeting the rural communities living in the locality, and the mission of this concern the registration of the civil status for children after their birth, as for the training courses on the civil society and the civil status. It was given to civil registry official in Al Sabih, and the aim of the training was to improve the service provided to the citizens, especially for users of the civil service. Participants showed a great interest of this training through their attendance and the discussion that stimulate this activity. The province of Obor, a close collaboration with the customs officials, managed to stop two of the boats, the first of which was carry out illegal fishing in the national waters and section. In the second was Ali Mukhtar, and 33 cartons of these fishing and others royal cigarette. This is the involved of this illegal action will be brought to their justice. Moving on to the international scenes, International Court of Justice urged Burma to prevent Rohingya genocide. Burma is summoned by the International Court of Justice to take all measures in its power to prevent possible genocides against the Rohingya. It is the first time that the court in The Hague has pronounced on this file. Abdul Qawi Ahmed Yusuf, a judge of the International Court of Justice, said Burma must take all measures within its power to prevent the commission of all the acts refer to the Articles 2 of the Convention, in particular the murders of members of the Rohingya groups, the serious attack on the physical or mental integrity of members of the group, international submission to the groups of a condition of existence which must lead to its total or partial physical destructions. In December, the Burmese head of government, Ms. San Suu Kyi, had herself defend her country by rejecting accusation that the Burmese army had acted in 2017 with genocidal intention. In just over 2.5 years, approximately 740,000 Rohingyas took refugees in Bangladesh to flee the atrocities of Burmese soldiers and Buddhist militia. Burma admits that worse crimes have been committed. And now, 40 jihadists put out of action in Mali. French forces, Burkina has put out of combat more than 30 jihadists in central Mali in the past 2 weeks, and five others were killed Sunday in a drone strike not too far from the Niger border, announced Thursday the French General Staff. The French army refused to give a precise count of jihadist kills, injuries, or capture, and groups these three categories under the generic terms of neutralization or put out the action. Since December, Barkin has announced the neutralization of dozens of jihadists faced with the jihadist spread. French President Emmanuel Macron and his Sahel counterparts meeting at the summit on January 13 affirmed their desire to focus the military effort on the so-called three borders region, designating the priority enemies. France sent 220 soldiers in early January to reinforce the 4,500 already deployed in the Sahel in the contest. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.